UCLA center Aday Mara has hit the portal cart. Guy who some expected to take a step forward this season. We saw flashes of it, but it was inconsistent. When he was on, he looked every bit the part of a dominant 7-3 center. When he was off, he looked like he was just kind of out there getting some cardio in. But the upside for Mara is tremendous. I have a hard time figuring out what his market may look like because I have a hard time figuring out what I should expect from him as a player. How do you stack up his game?
It's I'm gonna use the word intriguing. It's
Okay.
intriguing because like obviously Aday Mara like coming into UCLA. I mean, Rob, we talked about it in our circles. Like when he committed to UCLA, we're like, oh, like Mick did it. Like this guy's gonna take college basketball by storm. The overseas product is coming over to college basketball. Like this is part of like a movement that's gonna be happening. And it just wasn't there. Like it wasn't there, whether opportunity or just when he did get opportunity, it just wasn't there. And then like it was funny because obviously I did a lot of like the Big Ten this year with UCLA joining, and like I saw a trend that when Aday Mara played minutes, he was productive and UCLA was better for it. But also like his minutes were very sparse. Like how Mick Cronin decided to approach it, whether it was Mick Cronin was in the right or the wrong, there was just nothing really consistent there for Mara. And obviously it's this is a guy who you add, and I think you're taking a swing on being what he was, before he got to UCLA and also in moments he had at UCLA. How do you get that out of him at all times? And I just think that Mick's not the coach and that's not even a slight to Mick Cronin. I just think maybe Mick
Yeah.
Cronin is not the coach to get it out of him. That's kind of how college basketball is. Some coaches can get something out of players, some coaches can't, and usually you can't explain it. But I think maybe there's a destination for Mara that someone can really optimize his skill set and his size because look, there's not many 7-3 guys in college basketball, and there's not many 7-3 guys that don't have two left feet. Aday Mara has both those qualities and has shown qualities to do other things. So it's a very intriguing person that's in the portal.
He really is. He really is.
He's an enigma.
I sometimes push back on the idea. It's like, well, when he plays more minutes, like we see his numbers go up. He's probably getting more minutes because he's playing well. He's probably not getting a lot of minutes in games where he's not playing well, right? So that's part of it too, particularly with a coach like Mick Cronin, who is just zero tolerance. Just if you're one of those guys who's on his list, you make a mistake one time and you're sitting next to him for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
I think the intriguing thing about him is it felt like he was getting it together towards the end of the season. You
Yeah.
look at his March numbers, the best of his career. He's averaging 9.2 points, 6 boards, 2.6 blocks in 16 minutes per game.
Yeah.
That's the kind of guy who can go wherever he wants. We know there's a premium on big men in the portal. Probably part of the reason why Mara decided to enter the portal. But I also think there is something there to be unlocked by somebody. I just don't know. Oh, also 2 assists as well in those 16 minutes. Like his game, he was able to show everything he had the last month or two of the season. So where do you think he could end up? Like, is he somebody you pencil in immediately as a power conference starter somewhere new? Is he still kind of maybe let's play 15 to 20 minutes a night until we figure out kind of where you're at, hoping to get more out of you? What should what kind of role is he looking at?
So I think he needs to go somewhere where he's on the floor a lot, right?
Okay.
I like whether that's at like a non-power five or wherever he goes. I think he needs to go and actually get on the floor to actually see what he can do. And look, in the world of what's the transfer portal, let's say he goes to like a lower level school, maybe, or a non-power five school. I mean, that
Mhm.
has a good year, comes back up to the power five if he wants to. He can do that. That's how the transfer portal works. But
Mhm.
um I do think it might do him a service to look at a non-power five school where he can play a lot. Maybe he's not necessarily the most physical guy, 7'3" too, so maybe that could be something that he could just work through and not have to deal with that on a night-to-night basis. But I don't know. I think a step down to the non-power five would do him some good. What are you thinking with him?
Yeah, I don't know why this sticks out to me, but like a school like Utah State
Mm,
would be good. But also, there's going to be a role for him in other power conference schools if he wants it. Right.
yeah.
Like UCLA was over him for a reason. Washington is going to throw money at anybody who hits the portal because Washington just needs bodies. But there's a difference, I think. Like there are three paths you can go down, right? Do you go get a bag to play for a small or a probably less than successful power conference school?
Mm,
Do you go fight for a role at another like top half of the power conference program, kind of like UCLA? Do you just kind of relocate and hope you figure it out at that spot, or do you go down a level and work on being the guy?
mm,
I would like to see him go to a bottom half of power conference school,
mm,
just from the standpoint of I think that's where you're going to get the combination of playing time, money,
mm.
and opportunity to really truly grow, right? Because you can dominate some levels of competition by being bigger than everybody else and as skilled as he is. But if you put him on like NC State with Will Wade,
Does South Carolina have a spot?
South Carolina always has a spot.
Okay.
South Carolina always has a spot. Schools like that where you know you're going to get playing time, but there's a chance for you to develop, get that playing time in a major conference, put something on for pro scouts, and potentially help your team overachieve. I think there's something that could really be said for that because if he just gets like a year of development,
Hmm.
he's going to take off. It's just a
Right.
matter of getting that development and if that's even something he wants to do.
Yeah, and then the coach hits that, then like I'm assuming he develops somewhat. You're getting a Day Mara back for his senior year, and you can build around that, get some pieces around that. I do think it would be worth it for him because I do think his size alone would let him kind of. I think he could walk like with all due respect. I think he could walk into like the Mountain West on a certain team, play major minutes, and give you like 12-5, 12-7, right? I think it would benefit him to be at a school like you stated that he could get some run and see kind of what happens. I mean, uh, look, I think there's a lot of schools that'll give a 7-3 guy a chance to
Yeah.
play, and that can have him one. I mean, shit, you think Willard will call him? I don't know who Villanova has. They got nobody, right?
Villanova's got nobody.
Yeah,
Shout out
so
Cal Neptune.
yeah, so go ahead. I mean, there's options for him where I think he can get a little bit of both. Their experience, money, maybe just bottom half of the conference.
Yeah.
Also, I think it would benefit him to, with all due respect to UCLA's guards, I would like to see him with maybe some better guards
Yeah. Some
at
better
the same.
playmakers,
Yeah,
certainly.
yes, better
Yeah.
playmakers.
I think the intriguing part about this, in 2K, when you're scouting like draft prospects and it's like, oh, his ceiling is this guy in the Hall of Fame and his floor is, this bench player you've never heard of.
Yeah,
That's him. Like, I think the enticing part is if things hit, his ceiling is like lottery pick next year.
yeah.
But his also basement is that we never hear from him again.
His basement is like Sisamon's Apollo, but like his ceiling is he could be literally a first round NBA draft pick.
Yeah.
You
Be
take a chance
interested.
on that.
Yeah. Interested to see where it goes.
It is March, and that means that March Madness is upon us. And if you are looking for a place to play, Underdog Fantasy has you covered. Sign up and deposit using code SLEEPERS, that's code SLEEPERS, to receive up to $1,000 in bonus credit plus a free pick. Head over to Underdog Fantasy today and use promo code SLEEPERS to take advantage of this amazing offer.